I am here with Val Gilman, and we are here to talk about this question that we both hear a lot.
Mm.
Can I really make a living as an artist, especially as a sensitive soul? And I don't want to burn out or sell out. It's such an important question. And Val and I both, as coaches, I'm a career and business coach for sensitive souls, and Val is a coach, a self-employed artist and coach for artists and creatives. So let's get into this.
Yeah.
Val, do you want to say a few words to open?
Yeah, I do. I just want to say how grateful I am for this opportunity to talk with you about it in this context. You and I have a pretty good history together. We have a shared language, and we also have people that we work with who are overlapping in terms of what their issues are, what their desires are, what their values are. And
Yeah,
so it's just exciting to share these ideas with you.
yeah. And the question comes up so much, and sometimes I'm like, what would Val say here? So I'm really glad we're getting to talk. So this is wonderful. Um, well, my first question for you is when you first started out, let's get a little bit of your story. When you first started out, what were your thoughts about could you could you make a living as an artist, and how has that changed over time?
Mm. The big question. It's a big question. And I should say, I started as an artist from a family of artists. So I have both the cultural stuff and also the stories that my family was telling me. And I think a lot of my clients have that also.
Yeah,
It's always interesting to see what are the stories that we tell ourselves. For me, success as an artist meant making a living selling work, right?
hmm.
And that all of my
A
income would be
narrow definition, right?
narrow, really narrow. And that to be a good artist meant that you were doing stuff that was edgy and challenging and
Hmm.
uncomfortable in some way. And
The pressure.
yeah, it was a lot of pressure. It's very intellectualized, but also, I mean, my parents were phenomenal artists and I have a great value in what they were talking about, but there's a real rub between feeling like, you want to be a good artist and you want to be a successful artist, and how do you do the both without losing? We talked a lot about selling out. We talked
Yeah,
about a lot about burnout too, and this idea that when you're in a gallery situation, when you have an audience, you have to cater to their needs.
yeah,
And that is a great way to lose connection with your heart. But we'll get into it. There's ways around that. So,
yeah. Good. I know for people who are sensitive souls, and for me, I include introverts, people, anyone with a big heart, someone who's highly sensitive. A lot of them are really creative spirits too, hence that overlap there. And but we can really um, the idea of overwhelm is a challenge area for us,
yeah,
or it can be. I know for me, I've had to learn how to like organize my life around my energy needs so that it
right.
doesn't have to be. And I do see a number of people who are have creative businesses in all kinds of ways that
Yeah.
also do a good job of taking care of their energy. You being one of them. Um,
It is one of the big things to help people with is how to get the out energy and there's so many things that we need in our lives to support us. So making sure that all of it is in place.
well, what has changed for you? Like how, kind of tell us a little more about like where are you now? How'd you get there?
Mm. It's been a long road, and the work that I did with you was really essential. Just to let you all know that Val and I first met because she was my coach, and she's a fabulous coach. And there's stuff around values, understanding my values, and
Mhm.
this is something I help people with all the time now, because when you're living your values, then you can make choices that make more sense. So, for instance, um, I feel really clear at this point about what I'm doing and how I'm balancing out all of the parts of my life because I'm really I'm where I'm at. Let me back up. Where am I at is I feel good. I feel like
Right.
I'm connected to what's important to me,
Yeah.
right? So my sense of success has changed. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? My sense of success is much more connected to what's important to me rather than what is some outside idea about what success is. So
That's just so
integrity.
key. I'm glad you're putting
Mhm,
a pin in that. The
mhm,
whole like pausing to see, wait, what is my definition of success? Not my parents, not societal.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Keep going.
Living, I think this is probably important for the sensitives that you work with also that integrity is like number one, right? It's
Yes.
so important.
Yeah, we,
And
we, we
if
can
you're
tell when
trying
it's
to,
off and we just can't do it.
you can't, right? You can't do it at all. You can't connect. And
Yeah.
if you're trying to sell your work in a way that isn't connected to your integrity,
Yeah.
then it's a quick way to burn out, right? And
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel good at all. And so realizing that the sense of connection, heartfelt connection with audience, that's a huge piece that I learned over the years in trying to sell my work and then teaching and then coming back to selling my work. It's like it's so different to connect one to one with the people who you're selling to or connect with the gallery owner and feel like it's a human connection, right? And so then
Mm.
selling the work feels much more comfortable. So sales are important for me,
Yeah.
but the other part of success is understanding that it can be like a quilt. And you and I were
Mm.
talking about this ahead of time,
Yeah,
so I'm
let's
sort
talk
of
about the
jumping the
quilt.
gun.
That's okay. I love the quilt. Talk about that.
So when what we're talking about is that life can have lots of different patches to it, patchworks to it, right? So for me, making a living is more about making a life than it is about making a living, right? It's like I'm
Hmm.
not trying to sell my work and live off of what I sell. I am trying to make a living that feels comfortable to me, and I do that in a variety of ways. For me, it's teaching and coaching and selling, right? But I've
Yeah.
had lots of different things over the years. To me, it feels exciting to have that patchwork because
Mm.
each piece satisfies different parts of who I am,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, go ahead.
In fact, I remember times when you would say, "Should I drop this part? Should I drop that part?" And then I would just listen because you would say, "But I can't drop that and I can't drop that because this feeds this part and this feeds that part." And
Yeah.
it feels like a genuine choice, not just a, well, I have to do this other work in order to feed this other part. It feels like a genuine choice. Each of the pieces in your quilt is something that really you enjoy and that feeds you. So that's
It's
that's my sense.
it's absolutely true. And I mean, I think you and I both know it takes a while to get to where you
Yes.
can, if you're gonna be a self-supporting artist, maybe that's the better way to say that. Like I'm self-supporting. Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make choices to do things that fit your strengths but are not as satisfying. For example, I
Right.
spent time painting houses for a while, right?
Right.
Because I needed to have that level of security, financial security, so that I could do my work. The other part of that, honestly, is the balance between income and expenses. And I know I didn't talk to you about this ahead of time, but you and I have talked about that a lot. That having a budget, I know it's so mundane, but having a budget that works is a structure that supports me
Yeah.
and helps me to feel safe, right?
Yeah.
A living
Yes.
budget. And so it's that kind of structures, putting that kind of structures in place that make it possible to not burn out because burnout comes from feeling anxious all the time.
Yeah.
That anxiety about, being on the edge financially is really rough.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little more of the money, right? I mean, that's the sort of the crux of what we're talking about today, but within a holistic framework. But I thought for me that was scary in the beginning of my business. I've been in business as a coach for over 15 years. And the whole like looking at the numbers and how much do I really need was really daunting at first because I was sure I wasn't going to be able to do it. So I was like, don't even look, which is
Mhm.
a terrible practice.
Right.
But having some hand holding and, just being with someone that could support me through the scary moments like that. And then just sitting down and crunching numbers, it can be such a it turned out to be a very freeing moment. And it sounds like from what you're saying, it has been for you, like, oh, s- the budget, actually doing that stuff can be a structure that can hold you and help you feel supported.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. And for artists, most of us would say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And one of the big lessons that I've learned is that there are structures that make it possible to have the freedom, right? If you
Yes.
have no
Like,
structures,
yeah, no structure is
it's
too.
chaos and it's overwhelm and it's challenging, right? So
Yeah,
budgeting time and budgeting money is really helpful
yeah.
so that you have a safe container. I mean, it's a lot about
Safe
creating
container.
safety for yourself.
Absolutely. And you made such a good point about painting houses, for instance. It's like it still worked with something you could do and was not draining for you. And it supports you so that the business has room to grow and you're not like yanking at it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It can
So,
only do what it
yeah.
can do at the time. And if you're trying to push it too hard, then you end up, well, you end up not feeling great. There's so many
No, and
no's.
that there's a recipe for burnout right there.
It is. It is seriously.
Not
Yeah.
taking care of the money, right? It's key. It doesn't mean selling out when you take care of the money, and it doesn't mean you've lost freedom to take care of that. It's just
It's
self-loving,
it's
really.
giving you the freedom. It is self-loving. It's caring for the self, knowing that you need that sense of security in order to be able to do the work that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at us talking about money in loving ways.
Well,
Can
we have
be.
a messed up economic system. I'm not gonna say it's not weird, the whole money
Yeah,
thing. And the
neither.
exchange of, art for money, that piece has been very challenging for
Yeah.
many of my clients and for myself, because
Yeah.
it feels like in some way you're denigrating this thing that came out of your heart,
Yeah.
or
Is
the
it?
other way of thinking about that is that you make things to sell and then you're not having integrity with it, right? So
So
either
what's that
one of
middle
those can
ground?
happen.
How do you describe that middle ground?
The key in that one is really understanding that the money piece is not the primary piece. The primary piece is the connection, right?
Ah, I love that.
Yeah, I know. It's a
Say more
heart
about that.
connection. Yeah. When I make work, I'm making it from my heart, and I'm helping my clients do that too. Just really, it's whatever is compelling and interesting and whatever feeds you, right? Trusting that, and you make it and you put it out here, outside of yourself into the world, and somebody sees it. They're not connecting with you. They're connecting with the work,
Yes.
and they're connecting their heart to the work,
Yeah.
right? So it's an offering, and you let go and you let the other people have connection to it in the way that makes sense for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And what I've found over the years is that when you really let go and you let yourself hear how other people are connecting with it and be with that, it's like
Mhm.
your work landed. The communication has been received.
Wow. I mean, that's
It's
beautiful.
huge. It's huge.
Huge.
So
And
I
I've,
think having an
mm,
audience is really important for an
well,
artist.
yeah.
That
You
doesn't
need
mean it
it.
has to
You
be
need
an
it.
audience that buys, right? Some of us are going to be selling, some of us are going to be getting grants, some of us are going to be teaching and just showing and whatever,
Hmm.
right? So knowing that getting the work out there where connection can happen and other people can receive it, that's
Yeah.
one thing. The other thing is the money involved with it, and that is about supporting yourself as a human, right?
Yes.
So charging enough so that you are actually making a living, right?
Yeah. You're just singing my song. This is so beautiful. Just You know, I like to talk about it as heart to heart connection, and I love how you describe it like the art is here. It's not about you, it's not an ego thing. It's and I've heard you say that when you made work that felt true, that was the work that sold better anyway.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Right?
I mean, really, at
It's
the
like
beginning, you asked
the
at the beginning, it's
truest,
like
your
I was,
truest work. Yeah.
yeah, making work that is honest and is where your heart is. That's the stuff that the right person is going to see that and want it, right? And knowing that your audience is not everybody. It's
Yeah.
really not everybody. It is the right person. It is, there are people who want what you have to offer. They're
Mm,
out there,
yeah.
right? And what you're trying to do is make it available for them so that it can nourish them.
Yeah. Let's come back to that quilt. So there's the art that luckily people are finding and saying yes,
Mhm.
supporting you in that way. And I know you have a gallery that you're part of and where things are selling there, and
Things
that's
are bubbling, yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
What's that?
Things are bubbling in that way, yeah. But there's
Yes.
very many different ways that I get the word
That
out.
takes time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But tell us about the rest of the quilt. I'm intrigued.
For me, I love teaching. I love teaching and I love coaching. And I'm so grateful that I get to do both of these things.
Mm.
And there's also the business end of things. So it's kind of a four-part quilt. The
Mm.
business is where I'm not in interaction with my clients, or my students, or my art, but I'm doing the what I used to think was heinous work of behind the scenes, figuring things out, understanding things like SEO, right? It's a challenge in that. So I put that as a real piece of the quilt,
Interesting. Part of the
right?
quilt.
It is a part of the quilt.
Taking care of this,
Exactly.
your work in the world.
If
Ooh,
you think of it as a heinous thing that you have to do because you want to be an artist and you just don't, you have to do that other thing, you'll never, that's another recipe for burnout.
you're
If
right.
you can embrace it, right, and think about what are the ways that you can do it that feel good for you, that fit with your strengths, fit with your values, then it gets exciting. So there's the business end of things, there's the teaching, there's the coaching, and there's the art making.
I love it.
And they go different amounts of time at different times, right? It's like waves. They all go in waves of how much
Yeah, right.
attention and energy
I've
each
seen
of them
you
takes.
do that in ways like, ooh, summer's going to be more
Hmm.
making and then getting ready for fall shows and things like that.
Yeah, that's
And then
exactly it.
and fall workshops or whatever. And yeah, I've known you for many years and I've seen how each of those gotten has flourished more and more over time and they kind of feed each other somehow.
They do feed each other. They
Yeah.
balance. It's like a braid, maybe like a
Yeah.
four-parted braid. They
So,
feed each other and they strengthen each other, and they
yeah.
each satisfy different parts of who I am.
Yeah. I want to say something about what I've seen with some of my clients with this quilt idea and even myself. I don't just do one-to-one coaching. So I also do courses, I do groups, occasional workshops, public speaking, something like that. Um, and I, same as you, like I like the blend that feeds different parts of me and it actually makes for a strong business, like a three-legged stool. This is more sturdy than
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
Um, and it can look in many ways, so like you're presenting a model of how an artist might do it. So I've seen other versions, where someone might do graphic design, illustration, and selling art and teaching, right?
Working in
And
galleries, people do that at my
yeah,
work. Yeah.
and the painting houses or whatever, they might really love
Yeah.
that too. Um, so yeah, sometimes it just takes a while, like you were saying, you get creative and it's but trying to do too many very different things, I think, can be stressful. So choosing a quilt that really kind of goes together nicely, I think, is a key piece of that.
Yes, and learning, spaciousness is one of the terms that
Yeah.
I grabbed onto a while back because I was feeling so overwhelmed with all of these different
Mm.
pieces and just invoking spaciousness in my day invoking a sense of, okay, making choices, doing one thing at a time, right? Allowing one major focus at a time so that and recognizing that some things are going to have to wait, right? So part of having the quilt for me is registering that it cannot happen all at once, even though my creative brain wants it to, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of being in business, right, is really working the muscle of patience and perseverance. It's a big
Yeah.
deal. And support, learning how to let in support. I think that has been so critical for me. There's no way I would have a business if I didn't keep working that muscle.
Here,
Which is
here.
hard at first,
Absolutely.
hard
Yeah.
in this culture.
Scary and
Scary.
hard and
They're gonna see I'm a mess. That was a big one for me. It was just like, oh well. One of my mottos today is, oh well.
we were laughing earlier. I was telling her that I'm the queen of mess. I'm really, really good at that. Really good at that. Chaos is part of the deal, but order, chaos and order, right?
Yeah.
So the balance, the yin and yang, going back and forth.
Val, let's go ahead and say like a final something as we wrap up.
You know, can I go first?
Yes, please.
It's been great to talk with you about this.
It's fun.
There's a few things. One is when I'm coaching with clients, this kind of playful banter is part of it, which is really important to notice because when clients come, it feels like they're really struggling, right? And registering that help can actually feel good
Mm,
and sweet and playful and can clarify things for you.
yeah.
So the getting
But
help is really important. And you don't know, you should look into what are the right places of help, right? But doing it alone, that is a myth of the starving artist. That's part of the myth that you
yes,
have to be by yourself.
that
And
is
that
part of
is,
the burnout recipe.
yeah, it's a myth. You don't. You're not, right? We have a web of connection and we need to live into that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I
Mm.
want to say. What do you want to say?
What do I want to say? I feel like we covered so much, and it's such a pleasure to connect with you and get into this because, like I said, the question comes up a lot I work with people, a lot of people who are in a, career transition, and they're just like, what's possible? And I mean, I have this creative side. What do I do with that? That comes up a lot. And so I'm really happy to get your input on that because I know this is your area of expertise. So I'm excited about that. So I guess I'll just say, yes, I believe it's possible to make a living as an artist if you get creative and you get some support and you do not have to burn out or sell out. That feels important to say.
That's really important.
And Val, how can people connect with you and if they want to get more support?
Thanks for asking that. I have a website called Taproot Arts and Insight, and I also have a mailing list. And what I send out in my mailing list, my heart goes in that. Because
Yeah,
what
it
I'm
does.
hoping is that when you receive it, it's like a gem, a little piece of light for you. So join my mailing list and, you know, check out the website. I do offer free beginning, introductory coaching sessions. So if you're ready
Nice.
to say, yes, I want to see what this is like,
Or even just get a hit of yumminess from Val.
that works. That
Yeah.
works. But, check out the website. There's a lot there.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoy your newsletter and your energy and just your generosity. And thank you for your generosity today with this.
Thank
I
you.
think we are complete.
Great. And we'll put the website down at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks.